Hello, my name is Voya and welcome to My Deep Guide. Today we are checking out something a little bit different, and it is the Royole RoWrite 2. This is a smart writing notebook, and it's a very different device to what we're usually covering here on My Deep Guide. So it is not an e-ink tablet of any sorts. It's an altogether different sort of a product. So let's unbox it and see what do we get in the box and what's it about. And the in-depth testing and the in-depth review will be in a different video, because this is just an unboxing so that I can unbox it and then start testing stuff. But before we dig into RoWrite 2, full disclosure, Royole contacted me and they said, hey, we have this product, are you interested in checking it out? My standard reaction to that kind of thing is first check out the product. Does it make sense? Does it actually coincide with the My Deep Guide platform? And then send out a response, yes, but I have to keep full editorial rights, to which they replied, we wouldn't want to have it any other way, to which I replied, great, send it over. So they did, and now let's check it out. Alright, so here is the box for the RoWrite 2, a smart writing notebook by Royole, which is, as far as I understand it, US-based company. So this is designed by Royole in California, but of course made in China, because everything is made in China. But technically speaking, this is a US company. So that's an interesting thing to see what comes out from the US on the note-taking, digital note-taking plan. Now, obviously, RoWrite 2 is a second iteration of their device. I have never tested or checked anything out with the RoWrite 1, so I don't know anything about it. This is my first basically interaction with this, and from what I understand, even before unwrapping it, this is not an e-ink digital note-taking device. This is not an e-reader. This is exactly what it says, a smart writing notebook. And the basic premise is that it has a sensor underneath that senses the pen input, and you write with the pen on regular paper, on regular notebooks, and that is then registered by the sensor and transmitted to the app on your computer, tablet, or a smartphone. And the notebook paper is exchangeable. So yes, you spend it, you write on the real paper, you spend it, and then you refill it with new paper. So that's the basics of the smart writing notebook, what it is. I love this. Phone, tablet, and laptop are not included. Oh, good lord, that people have to include these things. It speaks volumes about the world. But anyway, let's move on. It's priced at $129.99, so $130 US, full price. So that's the introduction to the RoWrite 2. Now let's open it up and see what we get inside and what's it like. Right. Oh, cool. I like this approach. And I always like it if it's real size. That's something that I really like seeing. So let's, I guess, open it up like this. Okay, so let's see. Ta-da! Not real size, it's bigger. Okay, fine. Here is the Royole. So this is synthetic leather that feels and looks really good. So something that I really appreciate. Inside we get, this is the block. So this is the device. The sensor is underneath here. I would say, yeah, we'll disassemble later. So this is your block of papers. Then you get another spare notebook of papers. We get a RoWrite pen, lengthy USB-C Royole cable, very nice quality, it seems. And in here, I guess we're gonna get spare nibs, nib replacement tool, and I guess some documentation, so let's see. Yep, that's exactly what we're getting. And okay, these nibs are definitely different. So these are not just nibs, these are like the whole replacement patrons or whatever. Patronus. Replacement patronus. Anyway, that's a very different technology, and another indication that this is their own technology and something that they've designed and made. So, yep, replacement stuff. and a very handy user manual in many different languages so that it can actually get you started quickly. Usually I don't read you guys this info, but these 2 sentences or 2 paragraphs here are actually really useful because they described in a very nice way what's unique about the RoWrite. So, RoWrite 2 is designed with Royole's advanced fully flexible sensor technology and Hall sensor technology, which senses whether the folio is open or closed to achieve its light and compact design. Alright, fine, so we have open-close functionality and their own proprietary sensor. It comes with a RoWrite Pen 2 to capture every single stroke. The magnetic pen holder in the notebook allows real-time charging, which is really freaking cool because when your pen is stored on the device, it's not just magnetically stored, but it's also charging. So very nice and very modern thing to see. RoWrite 2 saves your work when you are not connected to your smart device and will upload the work via Bluetooth once connected to the RoWrite app. So basically it has some sort of memory, and whether you're connected or not, it will store it, and once you connect, it transfers to the app or the cloud, which is again very cool. In the app, you can edit, save, share your creations and choose from 12 languages to convert written text to digital format. And the RoWrite app allows you to share the work as text, PDF, JPEG or MP4 format. That's going to be interesting to check out in the in-depth review. But I just wanted to cover these things because it was very interesting to read about this, especially the magnetic charging of the pen, which is going to be nice to test out. And here is the content of the Royole 2 standard package. You get the RoWrite 2 device with a notebook already inside and a spare notebook on the side. Then we get a RoWrite 2 pen, some documentation, spare Patronuses to ward off Dementors, and a USB-C cable. A very complete package, and it's a very cool thing to see that you have everything that you need to get started immediately. Alright, so let's take a look at the RoWrite 2 as a device, what it is, because it's a very different and a very unique device. Well, the device itself is here, so along this strip you will have the electronics and the metal part is right there, and underneath here where we write, this here is the sensitive area. Basically that's where the sensor is. I'm going to take out the notebook and see if we can take a peek and see the sensor, and just to see how the process is of replacing a notebook. Okay, so yeah, you just pull it out. And what do we have inside? I'm really curious. Very well protected, and I can peek all I want inside, but it's just this kind of a area. But this is where the sensor is. So this is the device, believe it or not. Very cool, and a really awesome mindset to basically just go ahead and design something totally new. So I really like this approach. One thing to keep in mind, you can see this is flexible, this is not. So I'm assuming that they have strengthenings here and everything else in place to protect the sensor. But I personally, when I'm using it, I would be aware of not bending it here or not hitting it down there, because that's basically where the sensor is. On the top, we have a power button. On the bottom, we have a USB-C port. And on the inside, we have an indication or status indication LED, which is a multicolor one and changes depending on, yeah, battery charge and all of that kind of stuff. Putting the notebook back in, so let's see how the process is. Is it difficult? Is it easy or not? Well, so far, very easy. Let's see, does it continue to be easy? So I'm just gonna lift this up, yep, and yep. Okay, so this makes sense. It's a little difficult to push all the way in, and combined with the flexible material and everything else of the notebook, you could end up, I guess, damaging the notebook when you're pulling it out or putting it in. So that's something that you should be aware of, but it's nothing overly complicated. So that's pretty much that. Now, what about the build quality and how does it feel? Well, it's very light. It feels very, very light and normal. Feels, obviously this side is rigid. The front is flexible as I've shown, and the back is also very rigid. I think it just feels really good. One thing that's kind of weird is that I'm naturally inclined already now. I wanted to flip it over, right? So that I can hold it with one hand and write, but the design doesn't support that, and you can't really change the layout of it anyway. So the only way to write it is on the desk or on your lap with this cover over there. So this was my first inclination, was to flip the cover around and have it flip back so that I can hold it in one hand, but unfortunately you can't do that. I guess you could do it like this, then write, but I'm going to test that in the in-depth review to see if the app is smart and or is it going to get confused with flipped content. Build quality looks very nice and very, very good. Everything is very nicely made. We do not have stitching here on the sides, but again, the precision of execution is really, really good. On the cover itself, on the top, you see here a slot, and this is a magnetic slot for the pen. So this is where the pen goes, and as you can see, here we have two metal strips, which are there to provide current to the pen, and the pen receives it via these two metal rings. Basically, you just slot it in here, it automatically snaps in place, and that's that. And then you can just close it and yeah, have it. So it's a very, very nifty package. Let's see how good is the magnet. Well, seems very good. Let's try and shake it out. Okay, well, I had to go to the absolute extreme to get the pen out of the hold, and that is equivalent of a fall. So this was the absolute most extreme when I was trying to push it down. Then, only then, the pen fell out and the magnets kind of went. And yeah, that would equivalent a fall. Let's try a little smaller fall. Nope. Nope. So normal bumps and kind of scuffs, the pen remains firmly in place. So as far as I'm concerned, for normal use, this seems like a very, very good solution. Now the pen itself, let's check it out. Well, it is, I believe that this is metal because it feels very, very nice and cold to the touch. And the cover, oh boy, the cover is magnetic. So you just go boop, and it's done. So this is so cool. Boop, boop. I really like that. The pen is a normal pen, and I guess it's time to test it out and see how it writes. So let's open this up. Okay, so that's why it doesn't flip over. Okay, now it makes sense. It doesn't flip over because you need to open up this page and then keep it. Okay, well, that's fine. All right, so before I start writing, let's examine the notebook that you get. So the notebook is not empty. It has these dots. So it can be used either as a line or as a grid paper. And the spare notebook is also the same. So it would have been nice, I don't know, I will check their website and everything, but it would be nice if we had like, yeah, different notebooks of different templates. So lines or grids or anything like that. But for now, this is what we get. We get the dot grid layout. Let's try and turn it on. Okay, so it lights green, and I believe that it is now on, I guess. Now, I don't have an app or an account or anything set up yet, even remotely. So all of that stuff is going to be done when I am doing the in-depth review. For now, this is just unboxing and first impressions. Let's see, yep, when the device is on, it is able to power the pen, and you can see that the pen is glowing ever so faintly red, which means that it is charging. So everything here seems to be working correctly, and I love the feel of it. It's very, very modern and very, very high tech. Now, since this is not an e-ink, you are writing with a regular pen on regular paper, so the writing feel is as you would expect it to be. Now, this is a brand new pen, and it's a ballpoint pen, so it's gonna need a little bit of kind of warming up. It's a little rough at the moment, but more I write, smoother it goes. So more I write, yeah, so now it's very smooth. Smoother it gets. Cool. So normal stuff that you would expect, and yeah, it's a great pen. It feels really good. Paper's okay. It's a little bit on the rougher side. It's a little bit wobbly, but okay. I guess that's just how it is. Yes, you can put in your own blocks of paper as long as they have a certain thickness, and I believe that the recommended thickness is no thicker than 6 millimeters. So to the question, do you have to use their replacement notebooks? Nope, you can use your own as long as they are of this normal format and that they are not thicker than 6 millimeters. Overall, I am very happy with how this feels and how it looks like, because it's a simple yet a very, very modern package. So that's the Royole RoWrite 2. As I said, this is just an unboxing video and the first impressions. There's obviously going to be now tons of testing. Now that I've unboxed it, I can test it. So I'm going to be registering the account and writing and testing on the PC, on the tablets and on the phones, and seeing how all of that goes. So the areas that I'm going to be testing in the in-depth review are of course going to be durability, how it works with another set of notebook, yeah, the conversion, and what are the capabilities of the app itself. Now for that, I'm gonna need a little bit more time because there's a lot of things to test out, but for now I just wanted to share with you guys the unboxing and the first impressions of the RoWrite 2 Smart Writing Notebook. Well, alright, so the Royole RoWrite 2. I'm very, very curious to see how it actually turns out and what's it like to use, because it's, as you can see, it's a very different type of approach. It's not a reader, it's not a tablet, it's just a smart writing notebook. So the areas that I'm particularly interested in is basically the reliability, battery life, how it actually works. Does it play along okay with other notebooks? So for example, that you want to use lined paper or anything else for that matter. How does the pen feel, and just the overall kind of extended use type of scenario. How does the product feel and how does it fare over the use period of a couple of weeks? So that's going to come in the in-depth review, which is going to come in maybe a couple of weeks. But overall, the first impressions are very, very good. I really love the build quality. I love the originality of it. I love the completeness of the design, the magnetic pen, how it actually kind of slots in, and it's not just that it slots in exactly there and it just kind of charges, but that the cover is also magnetic, and just a very smooth design overall, and gives a nice pleasant tactile feel. I also like that it's synthetic leather, that it's not real leather, and I like the fact that it is designed seemingly to be able to work with other notebooks in mind. I also like the writing feel because it is a pen on paper. Now what remains to be seen are all of the things that I mentioned already, and also how does the app work, because like in the case of Remarkable 2, the hardware was great and still is and does all of these really, really good things, but the hardware is not the only component here. And to really make this one work as a package and justify the price tag of $130, then yeah, it needs to be a complete package with the software and everything else. And for that, I'm going to be testing it out, and we'll see how it rounds up with the software experience as well as the hardware in the in-depth review. I hope you liked the video. If you did, please like and subscribe, and remember to check out the My Daily Organizer, which is a daily planner organizer type of an interactive document that I made, and you can find the link in the description below to see what it is, where to get it, and I do advise you to check out the video, the official video instructions guide and everything, so that you can see if My Daily Organizer, or MDO, is something that can help you transform your device or working habits into a more organized and planned way, or not. Thank you so much for watching. Stay safe, stay healthy, and see you in the next video. Bye!